TVC Breakfast. Now, between yesterday, a lot happened on social media, and the only lady that would let us know everything that she sees and brings it to us right here, Olamide Odekole, is standing by. I'm so excited for this morning. Good morning, beautiful.
Good morning. I see the three musketeers have banded together once more. let's make this memorable. Good morning, guys. We've got a lot to get into.
Take it away.
Good morning, Nigeria. I like to say that TVC has a finger on the pulse and our eyes, of course, on the streets. And here on the Trending Now segment, my team and I do our best on a daily basis to bring you all the trending stories that are shaping the world that you and I live in. We begin today with some scary news where panic briefly swept through the third mainland bridge yesterday afternoon after a bus rapid transit, a BRT vehicle, went up in flames, causing major traffic disruption. Now, this incident happened around 1 p.m. yesterday near the Adekule axis, heading towards Iyana-Oworo. And the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority confirmed the fire in a statement, saying that the high-capacity BRT bus suddenly caught fire, triggering anxiety amongst motorists. While no injuries or loss of life were reported, traffic quickly built up from Adekule towards Iyana-Oworo. Emergency responders, including the Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service, arrived at the scene to contain the blaze, while traffic officers worked to manage the congestion as a result. In a follow-up, the Lagos Bus Services Limited, one of the BRT operators, said that a comprehensive investigation was underway to determine the cause of the fire, assuring commuters that steps will be taken to prevent a recurrence. But for many Lagosians, the incident has once again raised questions about vehicle safety and emergency response on one of the city's busiest routes. As you can see there, the fire was extinguished and the bus remains skeletal. And luckily, there were no casualties. Let's have a look at social media. Awashanya Remilekun says, it is so unfortunate that the BRT bus had no fire extinguisher, but instead the FRSC Nigeria will only focus on private individuals and not commercial vehicles. Hence, what happened to the fire service units? And Adeolu Ojo says, we should be asking more questions. Does the bus have fire extinguisher? If not, why? Is the driver trained on emergency response? So many things and questions. Now, team, we know that BRTs are an integral part of transport in Lagos. Yeah. They usher hundreds of people daily, commuters across the city. So for this to be happening on Third Mainland Bridge with so many commuters as well, with no known source of the fire, is very worrisome. However, first responders were there. But this could have gone so much worse, don't you think, Atoma?
Yes, I would like to see or hear the outcome of the investigation that has been promised, because those BRT buses are diesel powered, and diesel is not as flammable as petrol or any other thing. So
combustible.
Combustible, sorry, thank you, as petrol. So there must be an issue. It has to do with maintenance of the buses. And this should also get the operators to look at all their buses again, understanding how important that bus service is to Lagos State.
I'm just happy that there were no casualties, because it would have been fatal. The conversation we're having this morning will have been very different. But then again, this is a very busy road. We're talking about Third Mainland Bridge, linking, the island from the mainland. A lot of people pass through this road. Anything could have happened. Another car could have been very close to it and just catch fire. Like anything could have happened. But we're happy that, the attendants were there and they, made sure they put down the fire. But the conversation we should be having now is that what was the cause of the fire, to make sure that another bus doesn't happen, to get burnt like this again. I feel like when things like this happen, let's go through the root case. Is it the best problem? Is it maintenance problem? Is it a diesel problem? Like, what exactly was the problem? That's the conversation they should be having.
And I think that's the in thing, so that because some commuters who regularly use the BRT bus will be worried as to using the next bus, especially those who were actually in that particular bus. They'll be scared to get into another one. So one thing, the government actually owes us the duty to give us the information, the outcome of the investigation, because I know that where they park these buses, they have their maintenance, mechanics there, the engineers there who always look at this. So is it that the bus was not properly maintained? Or had it been given signs? Is the driver, was it properly trained, and all of that? So we await the outcome of the investigation so that we'll be able to have a informed opinion.
Absolutely, team. Thank you for your input. I think it would be great to see, fire services and road safety systems that are more preventative as opposed to reactionary.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for your input, team. Moving on, in the world of social media, Nigerian streamer Habibat Hamzat, a well-known guy that I constantly talk about on this segment, popularly known as Peller, is under heavy criticism following a tense exchange at an eatery that has since gone viral on social media. Now, according to Peller, this incident began while he was asking in the restaurant about available meals when a middle-aged woman complained that he was being too loud in public. Well, in the video that's making the rounds online, the situation quickly escalates, with the streamer alleging that the woman insulted him, questioning his literacy. And viewers of the clip have focused less on the trigger and more on Peller's reaction. I mean, he was seen hurling insults at this woman as other diners looked on, while she remained relatively calm and she was largely silent throughout the confrontation. Well, the backlash to his reaction has been swift, and many fans on social media say that the woman had a right to ask for quiet in a public space, and they've criticized Peller's language and his conduct as excessive and very disrespectful, especially because she was a woman. As this debate continues online, the incident has reopened conversations about public behavior, accountability, and how influencers often handle conflicts and their behavior when the cameras aren't rolling. But let's have a look at the exchange briefly.
First time in my life, I see hater for real life, alone, better hater when I end this. So I come buy food with my own. I thought of which food do I get? This was say, it was too never easy. You too. I think saying I only move there, the washer move. Tell me like literally, people shut up. See,
now, obviously, we couldn't play the whole clip for broadcast purposes, but he did get very insultive. He insulted her appearance, and he called her a lot of derogatory slurs. But let's have a look at social media. The video is much worse than what was played just now. Angelo Jr. Gideon says, a woman calmly asks you to lower your voice in a public space, and instead of self-reflection, you humiliate her online, calling her dirty, cursing her, and invoking God's punishment. That's not meeting a hater. That's abusing a camera and an audience. Influence without character is dangerous. Being loud, rude, and cruel isn't confidence, it's insecurity with a microphone. Where is the decency? Where is the humanity? Fame does not excuse disrespect. Tofa Design says, you can caution someone with sense. What would it have taken for her to say, please, can you not be too loud? This is a public space. Instead of saying, keep quiet and calling him irritating. I mean, God forbid a woman assets her boundaries, team. Should there be a certain code of conduct, do you think, in public spaces? I mean, these influencers, oftentimes, for being honest, they're known to be larger than life. You walk in and say, what's on the menu? And you're very loud, forgetting that the world is not your room where you're streaming. Etoma, what do you make of this? This is a trending story.
Considering the fact that Peller has a lot of people, a lot of young ones looking up to him, because he's a success in what he does. They want to be like him and so on. He should hold himself with some respect, some limits that he cannot cross. Obviously he crossed it. I've run into him once, and truly that guy is loud. He is really loud.
The noise maker.
Oh yes, he is. And you wouldn't blame him at that age. So much money, so much fame. Fame comes with responsibility. That's what these people do not understand. So Peller, your outburst, your abuse of that lady and so on was completely wrong. I do not agree with you. For the fact that she is working there and she is older than you, and what she was asking was just for you to tone down. That's all. You would have done it. You would have just said, oh, I'm sorry, man, and you go on. And things would have worked very well. The whole show, the insults and the rest was completely unnecessary, and that doesn't paint the young man in a good light.
Very unnecessary. And I'll say for Peller, I think he needs to know when to stop. That's my problem with him. He doesn't know where to stop. As a man as well, it just shows that you're not a gentleman to even talk to a woman like this. The way he spoke to the woman was so derogatory. I think Peller needs to go to school. I don't want to blame this thing on money or anything. We have young people that are rich, but then they take care of themselves properly. Sometimes we do not understand the importance of education. We just think that it's nothing. But somebody that has not gone to school is clearly seen the way he behaves. Like, Peller does things that I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, like, what goes through his brain? What goes through his thought process? This is a restaurant. There are a lot of people there. To think that he was even giving the girl waka, which I'm seeing in the video here, I'm like, that is too much. Like, what are you trying to get from that? Especially you're not even talking to a fellow man, you're talking to a woman. Peller needs to go back to school. I think we need to put a placard out there that let Peller go to school, honestly. He needs to learn etiquette. There's so many things he needs to learn.
I've always resisted myself from using the French word, which enfant terrible, to describe Peller, and I think that's exactly what he exemplifies. You know, someone who is young, successful, but loud and very brash and disrespectful. And as a Yoruba person, I think Peller is also Yoruba. The question we always ask is, what kind of home training did he get when he was growing up? I know he has parents. What kind of treatment, what kind of training, what kind of upbringing did he have when he was growing up? He's still very young, so I do not know what, because these are the questions we need to ask, because some of these things you will not be taught in the four walls of the classroom. People believe that this is actually home training, and I think it really, really lacks it. And if you check that video, if he was streaming live, some, I don't want to use this word, but some will be sending him, you know, gifts and all of that.
Yes, exactly.
And this is the crazy thing. You know, this is the crazy thing. We are supposed to rebuke him when he's doing wrong. It is so bad. Not everyone, you can't abuse everyone. Some people are not actually from Lagos. They are from village. If you know what I mean.
But Ibrahim, I don't want to blame Peller's mother or anything. Because I've seen the woman, she looks upright. It's not even about home training. I feel like this guy, because he,
this is lack of
Ibrahim,
home training.
He built his brand like this, a lot of noise, a lot of
confusion,
what I'm saying.
A lot of disrespect. You build your brand on
and I feel like
because
wrong. He's now making money from it, TikTok, they are dashing him lions.
That's the society
like
for you.
It's amazing.
That's the society for
you. Absolutely, team. I do believe that.
Society rewards bad habits, bad attitude.
Even if Peller doesn't want to go back to school, there should be, at the very least, some media training to handle the fame that you've amassed, the way that you should carry yourself, because you meet extremely uneducated people who actually are the most respectful and kind and empathetic people they've met because they have good home training. Exactly. I think, like you said, this behavior is being rewarded in digital spaces, and that's why this is happening. He knows who you can try with because I'm not his mate. If that thing was... Thank you so much for your input, team. Moving on to serious matters. Grief and anger are spreading across the health sector after Chinemerem Pascalina Chukwumezie, a nurse with Federal Medical Center Jabi, was murdered by suspected one-chance criminals while returning home from late-night duty in Abuja. Now, Chinemerem is a frontline health worker, and she was attacked after closing from work in the Federal Capital Territory, an incident that has reignited concern over the safety of essential workers who depend on public transport after long shifts. Reacting to her murder, the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives has demanded an immediate and thorough investigation, urging the Nigeria Police Force and other agencies to arrest and prosecute those responsible for her death. The association also called for a stronger security around hospitals and staff routes, safe transport for nurses on night and late shifts, as well as recognition of nurses as high-risk essential workers through improved hazard allowances, life insurance, and welfare support for their families. I mean, these demands are very fair considering the fact that they are essential workers and they risk their lives every day to make sure that me and you are okay. Let's have a look at social media. On behalf of TVC Communications, we condole with her family. This is a very sad incident and we're lending our voice. OP Jiri says, "This is such a heartbreaking loss. What can regular citizens even do at this point? I feel like there should be some kind of organized transport system for healthcare workers, especially those on late shifts. They're already stretched thin, and now they have to worry about their safety commuting. Rest in peace to Chinemerem." I'll take one more tweet on this. Oluwabi says, "These one-chance operators have been emboldened by the seemingly nonchalant attitude of police officers who should have deployed CCTV cameras across board and heightened security along those roads in the so-called FCT. Human lives aren't sacred enough in this country." Now, team, this is a very sad story that we're having to report this morning. Now, it's not enough that we're dealing with a medical brain drain where all our essential health workers are leaving. They now have to contend with their lives on a daily basis. I was in Abuja just over the Christmas holiday, and I tell you what, it's more unsafe than ever.
That the Federal Medical Center doesn't have a transportation for late-night workers is the first problem I see there, and that should be fixed immediately. Chinemerem is gone. We can't get her back, and it is so sad. So I pray that God gives a family the fortitude to bear the loss. We need to restructure our medical sector. That's the discussion we had today on the table. It is very, very important.
Knowing that we're talking about this when we just had the kind of discussion we had on the table this morning, I saw this on social media and it totally broke my heart. And I'm even more sad that I get to speak about it on TV. This is a young girl, bright, with so many dreams. You know, she finished from work, she was going home, and she didn't actually get home. You know, we can just speak about it, but what about her family? What about her mother, her brother, you know, her boyfriend, if she had one? I'm just really saddened when we see things like this. But then we need to look back, you know, why don't they have transportation system? Like, how do these people go home? These are the people that make sure that we are safe. These are the people that take care of us. How are we now taking care of these people? This is a very, very sad story, and I pray that no family will go through this again. Nigeria, we need to do really well with our medical system. We need to make sure that we take care of these people. If we do not want them to go out, we complain of a lot of brain drain, but if we don't want these people to jackpot and go to better conditions, what conditions are we giving them in Nigeria? Yeah,
well, some will still come and argue that, yeah, it also happens, you know, outside of Nigeria. But the thing is, have we played our own part to the way we should, you know, the level we should? You know, beyond medical center or medical sector, we also have that in, you know, the electricity power sector. We also have that in tourism, in different sectors, even in the media. So we ask questions. You know, when you talk about your staff, they are not only, when you talk about your brand, they are not only, it's not only the building, it's also the working elements, you know, in the industry, those who move about and all of that. When people see them, they identify your company by looking at these people, how they conduct themselves outside, and, you know, what they have to experience. So we need to do better everywhere. Absolutely.
Her death will not be in vain. They put, the Nigerian Medical Association has put forward rules and regulations and certain stipulations that should be put in place, and hopefully we see that employed. Moving on, in the world of sports, Super Eagles forward Ademola Lookman has now downplayed reports of his clash with Victor Osimhen following the viral on-pitch exchange during Nigeria's recent match. Now, speaking after the game, Lookman said that nothing serious happened, explaining that the moment was just a discussion on the pitch and that such exchanges are common during competitive matches. The brief incident was captured on camera and it was widely shared and became viral on social media, and it sparked a lot of reactions amongst fans and raise questions about team harmony. Let's have a look at what he had to say about this. Very cool guy.
But I don't really think that's really important. I think the team won 4-0. Nick is our #1 guy. Everybody knows this. The top striker, top player, so all of the rest of that is not really important.
All's fair in love and footy. Let's have a look at social media. I'll take 3 tweets on this. His Royal Highness King Emeka says, I beg, make una pass ball to Amu. He is the striker, referring to Osimhen here. He has the right to be angry, but walking out of the national team is not good. He is the main striker and leads the team. Please, pass the ball to him. Don T says, if you watch that game, there were many wasted opportunities. To win this, you must give it your all and stop holding the ball when you can't get a shot and the other striker is open. Not long ago, you Nigerians were crucifying Osimhen for failing to qualify for the World Cup. If they don't win the AFCON, I bet you blame him. And finally, Frank Edoho says, football is a passionate game and sometimes things get heated up and they escalate. The lads understand this and Lookman has shown the ties that bind us. Please, let's not use this incident to hurl insults at Osimhen. It is passion for the game and for Nigeria. Let's go all the way. Now, Team Etomo, I'm passing the ball to you right now. And I hope that we're all strikers here, as you know. But I'm a defender. Exactly. The boys are going to Algeria. You know, they've made the quarterfinals. We should be focusing on really getting that national spirit up to support them.
Yes,
very quickly.
That's my feeling exactly. Let's think of the next match. In competitive matches, things like this happen, just like Lookman said. And I want to say Lookman is a big boy for the way he has handled this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. And Victor Osimhen, of course, does no wrong in my eye. He was just tense with what was going on. I don't think he meant any harm. The fans are just trying to put a lot of tension between them. But I love what Lookman is doing. Boys, I wish you the very best. I'm predicting 5-0 for the next match. Let's go.
Nice one. So maybe if that rift didn't happen, probably they would have got to 5 because that was what Michelle, predicted in the first place. Yeah, I remember based on some of the things that you read, I remember back then in the day when we used to do monkey post, we used to have that tense, that tense atmosphere. Yeah, so it doesn't mean that we hate ourselves. True. So I think that was what really played out. It's passion.
Absolutely, absolutely love this 5-a-side we are having on this segment, guys. Now here on the TVC Breakfast Show, we truly believe that time is of the essence.